Obviously, a great day for our football team, our fans. Was really proud of our performance. It's been a rough couple of weeks without question. Losing's not very fun. It's not supposed to be fun. Our guys have handled it well. It's something you got to work through. They continue to work hard and put in the effort. They've had great attitudes. They understand that, man, all these small things matter, and if you don't do the small things, you're not going to win. So to come out here the last game against our rival with quite a few guys down in numbers and step up and just find ways to play hard for 60 minutes in all three segments, offense, defense, special teams, couldn't be prouder. So that's a credit to our players, what they're made of, our coaches, what they're made of, and the fact that, it's a great team. It's a great team that just works hard. And, yeah, you want to try to win every one, but when you do or don't, you got to come back and do it again. So I just think a lot of guys stepped up, played to the end, and gave a great performance on our last regular season game.
Jeff, how kind of fulfilling is it to win this Governor's Cup, kind of given the last few weeks and all of the injuries and you having to kind of make do on offense with the running back?
No, it feels great. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I take losing hard. It's not fun. But, that sometimes drives you to just figure it out. And if you got enough people that want to figure it out, you can get things done. So I credit our team. They stuck together. At one point we had won 10 out of 11 games, which is pretty good. And then we had a couple losses at the end of the game, which, are as hard as any. And then we stunk it up last week. So what are you going to do about it? And I just think that you got to circle the wagons. You got to still believe in what you're doing. We have good players. We had a lot of guys today play injured. I mean, talk about people sitting out. We didn't have anybody sit out. We had guys play injured, a lot of them. So I couldn't be proud of that. We had a lot of new guys step up that maybe wouldn't get their shot this early, but they stepped in and did a great job. And then we had the others rally around them. I mean, your special teams, when you get a block punt that early, it sets the momentum in tone. The defense was stopping the run. That was the goal. Stop the run, stop the run, stop the run. And then once you get a lead, then they're really one-dimensional, and then that's when we can tee off, and that's when our defense is at its best. And then for us to be able to run the ball, control the clock in the second half was a great testament to our offensive line and tight ends and runners. So, yes, it was a victory. I got long-winded there. That means a lot to us, and we're proud to get it the way we did.
Coach, if you could just talk about Braxton and Sean, those two guys coming off. Everybody's talked about all the running backs that are out and injured, not playing. For those two to step up, both go for over 100 yards, just kind of talk about their performance today.
Well, tremendous performance, actually. Braxton's a young fellow that came here, and you know what? He works hard, he kind of runs strong, and early on he didn't know which way to run, right or left, or what the play was. But you kind of saw some things in him, like, you know what, in time, this guy can play for us now. His time came earlier than we thought. And then Sean was a unique guy. We brought in here as a receiver. I don't know, it just wasn't happening as fast as we would like, but he had a unique skill set. Like, hey, let's try moving him to running back, and to his credit, he's unselfish. These people are unselfish. He could say, no, I want to play receiver. He moved. He's worked hard. They were behind a lot of guys, and then they just kind of kept inching up the depth chart. So it's a great story of just people that love football, that want to be a part of it, and all of a sudden their time comes and they step in a game like this and deliver. So just a great performance by both of them.
Kind of staying on the running backs, obviously Barclay has been dealt a not so great hand with just all the injuries and stuff. How would you just describe the coaching job he's done to go from, having Isaac and Duke to now going with Sean and Braxton, having to get them ready for the game?
Well, Chris has done a great job. He's a competitor. He likes to run the ball. It doesn't matter who we have in there. He wants to run the football, which is great. And he's worked well with him. I mean, you talk about going over the details of the position, does a great job. We work a ton on ball security and doing the small things. I think for the most part we did a really good job on that. And we had some good running backs, and unfortunately they were down, and they helped us in a lot of games. And for two young fellows to step in that really haven't done much and on a big stage like this do a great job. They were prepared. They had the right competitiveness and toughness, but the ability to relax and do their thing. And that was just a really good job.
Coming off a tough week in Dallas, you're getting ready for your rivalry game here. What was the preparation like for that week leading up to the UK game?
Well, we had a great week of preparation, to be quite honest with you. It was a rough 48 hours after the last game. A lot of people weren't happy, but you gotta refocus and get back to work. And we knew Kentucky had won 3 out of 4. They're an SEC team. They got some physical athletes. That we were gonna have to play well. So credit to our guys. I mean, it doesn't take a whole lot to motivate them and get them to work hard. I think we treat them right, but they work hard and they want to succeed and want to do well, and they want to end with some momentum as well. So we knew it was going to be difficult and challenging, and there were new faces, but that's why the veterans stepped up. Our coaches stayed into it and worked hard all week. I challenged them to, hey, we got to end with a win now. Let's put some pressure on ourselves. And I just think we delivered when we needed to, and it's just it's a good feeling, and I'm proud of the team and our coaches.
Jeff, you mentioned the guys who played hurt. When did you know that you'd have Miller or Colin, or kind of all week? How did you know who you'd have?
Well, Miller's had a foot, and all week in practice, I was like, that's not going to be good enough. Like, it's like he can't move, this and that, and I'm talking to Brian. I'm like, hey, man, like, he's going to have to be able to move better than that. I mean, we can't design every play to throw in rhythm. He's going to have to, buy some time every now and then, make a play. And luckily, there's some good medicine for them to take. So I think he took that before the game. He took it last week in practice to see if he could do it. And, man, the next day he was sore as all get out. So he wasn't able to play. I'm sure he'll be sore as all get out now, but we have a little time. So he sucked it up. Colin Lacey didn't hardly practice all week. He's had a bad ankle. For him to return kicks and just do what we ask, great teammate, great toughness. And we had some others too that have been injured and nicked up. And that's part of the game. You're gonna miss some guys during the year. Hopefully it's not a ton. We have had some key guys out, more so than normal, but it can happen. So that's why you got to prepare well and get all your guys ready to go and do the best job you can keeping them healthy. So proud of all of them for playing injured. We talked about it after the game. Proud of the new guys for stepping in and the others for rallying around them and playing well.
Jeff, we talk a lot about your running backs today, but the holes that they had from your offensive line was significant, and you guys dominated up front on both sides of the ball. Just how key was that from a physical standpoint?
Well, I think it's been our strength. And while sometimes you want to air it out and have fun throwing the ball, our strength has been good defense, solid running game, and then hopefully good quarterback play that just manages the offense and does what we ask him. And that's been a good form. It's a good form for a lot of people. Now, do you want to be explosive and create big plays? Yes, but you don't want to turn it over. You don't want to give the other team things. And, against Virginia, we gave the other team points. So then it became, okay, how can we put this together and be right in it to win it? And we had our chances. Other than the last game, we had our chances to win every one. But at the same time, you got to still be aggressive. And I just think sometimes maybe wasn't aggressive as I needed to be the last couple of weeks. Today we started off passing the ball a little bit, opening things up. I can't even remember what your question was, but I'm proud that the running game, on offensive line, they like to come off the ball and strike people. To have to backpedal and block all the time, it's not fun. And you look at Kentucky there. Yeah, when you got to pass block the entire game because we have the lead, we're going to get a bunch of sacks. So I don't care how good you are. So you got to have balance. You got to be able to do both. Of course, creating big strikes is important, but our running game's been solid. And to have new runners step in, it's a credit to our offensive line, tight ends, receivers, and quarterbacks for doing their part.
Miller said that early on you all had a conversation because they were showing you a look that was like basically, he said, begging you to run the ball. What was that conversation like, and what did you see, early in the game that made you want to run the ball so much today?
Well, as we played against Kentucky, they do a great job against the pass. That's kind of their strength. That's why last year we were able to run the ball. I thought with our personnel, they were going to try to defend the pass, and they did. But we wanted to still try to throw it early on and kind of just set the tone like, hey, we're at least going to take some strikes down up the field and hopefully make some plays. And then the combination of it both, then it opened up some things. So as we got going, our quarterback was seeing it good. Our O-line and running backs were seeing it good. I think we have a good package to run the ball when we have those type of looks, and just move the chains and control the clock. That's been a strength of ours. So I just think Miller has a good feel for that. He's smart. He's played a lot of football and did a great job for us.
Coach, just talk about the fact that, this is a rivalry game. It's very heated. It's a lot of emotions that have to do with it. But your team seemed to be the more composed team today. You didn't see a lot of the personal foul penalties. In the second half, when you're trying to salt the game away, you didn't have any of those silly penalties to move you backwards. How important was that to be the more composed team to be able to execute today?
Well, you'd be shocked about how much we've talked about it. However much you think we should, times it by 20. That's what we've talked about as far as keeping our cool and keeping it between the whistles. And you think after you've seen it a few times, you're going to do it, but no, you got to continue to remind them and let them know that we've had some games cost us, penalties have cost us, and sometimes they happen. I get that, but the 15-yarders, you've got to be able to dial that back. And now it's a tough game. It's a physical game. You might get one every now and then, just because you have to have that mentality when you take the field. But we wanted to be smart. I thought for the most part we did a really good job of that. We had some penalties at the end of the half. I don't know if they were personal foul that cost us a field goal, but and that's happened to us this year. But we, as much as we can clean it up, we just got to continue to do it. But our guys had good composure. I thought we showed a good amount of class. We understand it's a heated rivalry, and no teams really like each other. But at the same time, we're playing a game and we're trying to win, and you want to do things the right way. And I think our guys have bought into that. And while we're not perfect at it, it's a good feeling when you limit those as much as you can.
Jeff, you mentioned good defense being part of the identity of this team this year. It's only the second time in the history of this rivalry that you guys have shut out Kentucky. I think this is the largest margin of victory. I guess, how big was this defense today, and what was just allowing them to be so successful?
Well, a great finish for our defense. They were driving to score. We picked off the one pass, which was a great catch. We almost got a safety. I think we started the game a great job of stopping the run. I think once we got a lead, then it really makes it hard for the other team. And that's whether it's us or anybody. It just makes it hard. And that's when we really teed off. And I just think our defense, that's when it's at its best. We didn't like our defense performance last week, just like our overall performance. It was our worst game. So we had to challenge them. Like, hey, we're better than that. And we've got to get lined up, get set, do the small things, contain the quarterback. That's kind of pivotal. Those guys that can move. And this guy was a good athlete. You can't let him escape the pocket and buy time and run. You got to have pocket presence. You got to pocket rush. Linebackers got to step up when those holes are there. And I just think we worked on it all week. We had a lot of mistakes last week that we corrected. The defense, I think we have good talent on that side of the ball. We've worked hard at improving that, and they had a really good year. And definitely to keep the other team out of the end zone is a great performance by them.
Jeff, how do you kind of look at the season as a whole? Do you feel like in your short time here that you've elevated it to a point where 8-4 almost seems disappointing with how the things played out?
Well, everybody can judge it the way they want. This is a tough game, and you're in a tough conference. You play good competition. Every little thing matters. Everyone's going to try to go undefeated, as you see every year. Even the national champion normally lose two games. At least that's how it's been the last couple of years. But yeah, you want to try not to lose any. And I just think, man, we've been right in it. That's the most important thing. The fact that we, other than one game this year, had our chance to win every one. If we just kind of tighten a few things up, and then you go about tightening those things up the next year. And I think. We took our defense and tried to tighten that up from last year to this year, made strides. Are there some things we can tighten up moving forward about penalties and timely plays that cost us, and situations that we could have been better in? Yes, we can. And you just got to work it. And, the experience matters. To play in the Big Ten for 6 years, now the ACC for 3. It's a new year every year, and teams are acquiring talent, and they're going and paying for players, and teams are doing whatever they can to build depth. And you got to build your roster the same way, but you got to coach and you got to learn from your mistakes. But but the fact that we're close is a great feeling, and we just got to. How do we get over the hump? How do we win those close games? How do we find ways to be consistent as much as we can? How can we do it with our main guys, but also, hey, we need some backups at these positions because you're going to lose some guys, and it can't be a big drop-off. I mean, you have to have the talent. They have to be ready to go. So it's just a lot of little things that go into winning, and we've got to continue to study it and continue to work through it. But we're right there, and we've got to identify those as a coaching staff and work hard to improve those and figure out if we can win more of those close games as we proceed forward. Okay, thanks.
All right, take questions from Miller. Came over there.
Miller, in your opinion, what was different with the offense today? It felt like it was clicking maybe better than it had it all season.
Yeah. It's hard to point to one thing. Football, especially like offensive football, is the ultimate team sport. So when you have a bunch of guys doing their job at a high level, I think that's what it looks like. I think we're really aggressive early on, which I enjoyed and was happy about, and I think that paid dividends and obviously allowed us to build the lead. And I was really proud of how we played in the second half, especially up front. Being down, obviously. Sean's on scholarship, but he's a receiver, so there's really no scholarship running backs, and still being able to run the ball that way. I give a ton of credit to the offensive line, and then obviously our two backs that play today and stepping up.
Miller, for yourself, coming off the injury last week, you weren't able to play. To be able to give it a go, play as well as you did today, what did it just mean personally for you to be able to come back in the rivalry game and play that well today?
Yeah, it was super frustrating, honestly, to not be able to play. I was talking to my family about it. Like, I hadn't missed a game as a starter since forever, like Pop Warner, high school, all the way through college. So it was frustrating to kind of sit there and not be able to help your team and go out there and sacrifice with those guys. But I give a ton of credit to our training staff, Sean Love and those guys. They did a great job in helping me get right. Just couldn't be more grateful to work with them and have me feeling very, very confident in the foot going out there.
With all the frustrations, Miller, of this season and just different things and what you guys have dealt with, how big and what does it mean to you to get this win today and end the regular season on such a high note? Yeah,
I think, if you play football for long enough, you're gonna have some things not go your way. And you talk about losing 3 games by a total of 7 points. Like, I think, we've been right there the entire year. And obviously some things bounced the wrong way for us. But I think given that, teams can go one of two ways, right? You can fold and kind of succumb to that adversity, or you can continue to go out there and put your best foot forward. And I think that's what we did today. And I gotta be careful what I say before it gets cut and whatever. But I'm super proud of the character and integrity of this group, and couldn't be more proud to be a part of this team.
Miller, what was the message from Jeff pregame? Obviously, he's a Louisville guy. He knows what this rivalry means. Coming off that bad stretch, what was his message to you guys pregame?
Yeah, we usually talk for a little bit right before we go out, and I really liked his vibe today. He was kind of just feeling like cutting it loose, and I feel like the whole team fed off that energy. I think we could tell how badly he wanted this, and I think the entire team kind of took on that persona. And he did a great job preparing us. So really happy we get this win, obviously, for the team and for Coach.
Miller, I know you mentioned the offensive line, and obviously they have to open the holes, but for Braxton and Sean to come in and do that, how surprising is that to you to see that performance, to see him go for over 100 yards in this game?
Yeah. In terms of surprise, they essentially came out and dared us to run the ball. Like they were playing like drop 8, 3 cloud, like pretty much the entire first half. And so, my conversation with Brian and Jeff is like, we're going to have to run the ball a little bit. And obviously, we were short staffed in that area, but couldn't be more proud of, those guys' ability. Like they started the year on the scout team. And to come in this kind of, I don't know what the stats were, but to put on that kind of performance, I'm just so proud of them. I think, they're both awesome players that have unique strengths and have bright futures ahead of them.
What was the conversation with the offensive line once you saw that and you were able to, like, were they fired up to be able to go run the ball? And then if you could just would you plan to play in the bowl game?
Yeah, absolutely. I think. Sorry, I'm answering the first question first. I think the offensive line. That's a really good group. That's a really aggressive group, and a really passionate group. So I think the ability to or the opportunity to kind of impose your will on your rival. I think they really relish that opportunity. I think they took full advantage of it today. The bowl game, we'll kind of see how everything shakes out. Got to obviously get healthy, and then we'll make a decision from there. All right, sweet. Thank you, guys.
For the two running backs coming into the game, obviously everybody was talking about how injured Louisville's running backs were. What was your kind of mindset coming into this game, knowing that, hey, we haven't carried the ball much, they may not be thinking we're going to do much? What was your guys' mindset coming into this?
We knew that all the eyes would be on us and that we'd have to step up. It's a big step up. Losing Isaac, Duke, and Bama, I mean, that doesn't happen normally. So we knew we had to step up all week. We've been practicing hard, and this is the outcome.
Yeah, we seen what they were saying. We took it personal. We took it as a challenge. We've been practicing hard all year, getting these same reps in practice, watching the guys in front of us, learning from them. So we just needed to show that today.
D'Angelo, to be able to get a shutout today, I mean, how good does that feel to be able to end the regular season with not allowing the other team to score at all?
The shutout actually felt great. We've been wanting one all season. We've been practicing, preparing for one. So, and then for it to be this game, this big of a game, for us to finally get it through and everything click together, I feel like that played out perfectly. But it all just shows the hard work we put in and just everyone trusting one another, just being a team. So everything just showed today.
This is for all three of you guys. Just when you're in a rivalry game like this, there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of talking, a lot of jawing back and forth. Like, what was the conversation within the team to make sure that you guys were focused, not getting into any foolishness, and kind of focusing on the job at hand?
I feel like we really weren't looking at it as in what they were going to do. We were just worried about winning. That was the main thing throughout the whole team. Like this week, we were focused on winning, and we knew what they were gonna come out with talking and stuff like that. We just had to play our game, just stick to our game, and execute the game plan. So I feel like we did that today. That's why we came out with the win.
Yeah, like he said, Coach told us. He said have emotion, but like have it the right way, do the right things. So just have emotion in the way you play, like between whistle to whistle. So that was the emphasis. That's what we focused on.
Yeah, just playing whistle to whistle. We knew that they were fighting for their season, coming in 5-5. I want to say 5-6. So we knew that they won again, they'd be bowl eligible. So we knew that we had the upper hand. So not to get into none of that.
Braxton, can you kind of take us through the road that got you here, and then going from you start the season, you're the fifth string running back, and you're the MVP of the Governor's Cup. Is that like beyond even your wildest dreams? I mean, is it fair to say that's not something you envisioned right out of the gate?
Man, that's something I've visioned of. Just coming here, I knew it was going to be a task. Coming in as a walk-on, nobody really knowing me like that besides my coach. I knew I had to put in work, and I feel like I proved it fall camp. And I had to just wait my opportunity. Just all the long nights, staying up a little bit, thinking, when am I going to get my opportunity? And it came today, so it's a blessing.
Yeah, Sean, same question for you. Growing up in this area and obviously making your way over here, how special was it to perform this way this early in your career as a Card in the Governor's Cup? What did that mean to you?
It was great. Feels really good. This being in-state and in-state matchup, and me being like in-state, and then a lot of the guys I grew up with, they played on the other side. So like I was talking to them throughout the week, just playing around and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was a big win. It feels good, especially that I was able to contribute to the team's win. So yeah, I'm just happy and I'm excited about that.
For both Sean and Braxton, how important were those first couple games when you got a chance to play, you got some carries. I mean, kind of take the nerves out of it. I know this is a much bigger stage, but I mean, kind of you got to feel. I know you played last week too, but I mean, leading up to that, those first couple games, you all had some long carries to kind of get your feet wet.
Just being able to get the in-game experience, that's really helpful. You get the flow. You get, I want to say, like, in the right state. So, like, you can be in the same type of flow, like, whenever you play, like, the more experience you have, like, the game slows down. Like, you can see stuff easier. You can do stuff better. So, I mean, the experience, that just helped prepare us more. And then going against these guys every day, I mean, that just helps every day getting better throughout the season.
I mean, like he said, just experience playing those first couple games. It slows the game down. And then what he said, especially playing against those guys, it just slows it down for us. So when we get in the game, it feels like practice again. So we go out there and dominate just like we do in practice.
Hutch, if you could just, talk, coming off a tough week last week in Dallas, defense didn't have their best game, but you guys have been one of the best units in the country all year long. How gratifying is it for you to come back, have that shutout? How do you think this makes the defense feel, and do you feel like this kind of gives you guys the recognition you deserve?
Yeah, I feel like the defense feels pretty good about this win, but we also know what our expectations is every week. We know we need to come in every week and just dominate and just play. We want a lights out game every game, so like that's what we expect, and that's our standard. So we try to just live up to it. Today actually showed like how dominant we really are. I just wish like the whole season, if we played a whole thing like this, it would have been perfect. But things don't always work out. But I'm glad that we were able to do it tonight and show the whole world like how dominant we really are.
Sean and Braxton, how were you guys able to stay positive, knowing coming in this season, just the depth chart and where you guys stood in that, and then having to wait your turn to get your opportunity tonight?
Just coming in here, like I said, as a walk-on, it's a big task, and I knew I was going to be behind some guys, Isaac Brown, Duke Watson, Kewan Brown. I knew I was going to be behind them and where I stood at, so my goal was to just come in here and work and then just see what happens from there. So the work that I put in, I mean, it paid off, and the outcome today was great, so I'm just thankful.
Yeah, it's been great just to be able to see the three guys in front of us. I feel like they three of the top backs in the country, and, getting to be around them every day, pick their brains, see what you can learn, like just implementing different stuff that they do. I feel like that's been, like, really helpful, and that we've been able to, like, see and soak up and, I feel like everybody in the building like had the same confidence in us that they had in them, because I don't believe there's a drop off in the running back room. I feel like we all do what we need to do. We all take care of business.
Braxton, could you just describe the moment of standing on the field and what was going through your mind when you were being presented the MVP bat?
Just being presented that bat, it meant a lot. I've been watching this game since I was, I want to say like 3. So since I was like little, I've been watching this game. It's always been a big game, especially staying in state, coming from home, Ashland, Kentucky. It's just a big moment for me.
Sean, if you could just talk to me about, you came in as a very highly rated wide receiver, and they made the announcement during fall camp that you were transitioning and going to start working some at the running back position. Just kind of talk about the decision, how that felt for you transitioning to that, and then to come out and get 100 yards today.
Yeah, like you said, they told me before fall camp, but I knew that running back is a position multiple guys got to play since it's so physical. We had a couple guys down, so I felt like it was a good opportunity to show what I had to do. But I also had to learn everything as far as protections, routes, plays. Like, it was totally different, but I was willing to step up to the challenge. And then, like I said, being around them guys, like just learning what I can and just picking their brain, being around them, because I'm at a new position. But being able to show that today, that feels really good to see the hard work pay off. And then I got a chance to show it today, so I felt like I executed good.
2 questions. Sean, Braxton, what were some of the things that maybe Isaac or Duke or Bama said to you guys before this game? And then Braxton, now that you're the MVP, does that mean you're going to get a chain too?
My chain is on the way. It's coming. And then what you said about Duke, Isaac, and Bama, what they said to us, just words of encouragement, telling us how big of a game it is. And then on top of that, we know how big of a game it is. Like, we're both in state. I'm from Ashland. He's from Radcliffe. Like, we know how big this is. So they're just really words of encouragement. And, yeah, that's really it.
Yeah, they told us, they was like, we see what y'all can do every day against one of the best defenses in the country. They were like, we got confidence in y'all. Everybody got confidence in y'all. It was like, go out there, play y'all game, and just show the world.
Braxton, after all that, you win the award, you win the game, you shut them out, and then when Coach Barclay gives you that hug and he's wiping away tears when he comes away, what was that moment like, and what has he meant for you this season?
And I love Coach Barclay. I came to Louisville last year. Going into my senior year during the summer, I came for a camp. And since that moment, we've been in contact, and he's been trusting me ever since. So just growing with him, seeing how he's grown as a coach, and then him seeing how I've grown as a player, it just means a lot, and he's happy for me. And I'm just glad that I can call him my coach.
Thank you.